no service, seeing SOS instead of network bars on the corner of their phones. The outage appeared to reach its peak just after noon today. Verizon said, "We know this is a huge inconvenience," adding, "We understand the impact this has on your day and remain committed to resolving this as quickly as possible." Verizon has not said what caused the outage, but David, law enforcement sources are telling us so far it does not appear to be the result of a cyber attack, rather a problem with a server in New Jersey. David?
Aaron Katursky on this. Thank you, Aaron. Here in the U.S. at this hour, this massive outage impacting more than 1 million Verizon wireless customers across the country. From New York City to Atlanta, Charlotte to Houston and beyond, who or what is behind this? Here's our chief investigative correspondent, Aaron Katursky, tonight.
Tonight, tens of thousands of Verizon wireless customers can't make a phone call after a nationwide outage affecting voice and data service.
There's our next one. Nearly 20 years ago, a ticket agent made that fateful decision. They became two of the 9/11 hijackers. And as Gio Benitez reports, that agent has been riddled with guilt in the years since, but he decided to make a difference in another way.
When you come in here and you see that ticket counter, does it...
There is chaos in New York at the moment. There have been not one but two incidents.
Two late-arriving first-class passengers came rushing through the doors at Dulles International Airport in Virginia. They're late, they stopped, they were confused, they were...
Alright, it took me a while to try to find this. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, V'kakadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elders at Great Millstone, GMS, who rule well, who labor night and day, making sure that we are well fed so we can go out on the highways and hedges, make videos to bring out this truth only for the 144,000 hopeful elect. I want to give all praises to all the prophets and all the teachers that's out there on the highways and hedges, making videos, talking to people, bringing the word out by any means necessary. Shalom to you. Shalom to the Aqua who are listening in silence. Shalom to the believers. And shalom to all those. And peace and blessings to you that support this truth. Shalom to you. Shalom to the 1/3, the 144,000 hopeful elect. Shalom. All right, so yeah, it took me a while to find this. I'm hoping that I will find a video on this. So just like how we had the power outage today, and this is January the 14th, 2026. All right, so it all depends on how old you was. You might know this or the area you was at. I'm actually from the DMV. And if you know what that is, that's I know Tahar was bringing that out. He actually said it wrong, but not trying to condemn the brother. The elder. But it doesn't mean Delaware. It means DC, Maryland, and Virginia. So if you're from the DMV, you know what the DMV means. It doesn't mean drivers, motor vehicles, and that stuff. That's just something that we do up in, if you're from Maryland, DC and Virginia. But how that works is that you are within the metro lines. If wherever where you stay at, a metro line, a metro train line is in your area, then you're from the DMV. So it's parts in Virginia where that metro go out, you from the DMV. If you from, Dulles, around the Dulles Airport, you from DMV, Virginia. So, you're from Baltimore, you're not from the DMV, but we know who y'all are and we respect y'all very much. But anyway, back to the story at hand. So, as you see right here, I typed in, cell phone outage, September 11th, 2001. All right. So what it says, yes, cell phone networks experience major disruptions. All right. And see, this was around September 11th because when that stuff happened, everybody was trying to call everybody. But I also think they might have had a hand in with that stuff. Okay? So, therefore, that's what happened. It was a cell phone outage, basically all across the United States. And even some parts across the world, because people was calling family members all over the world when this stuff happened. Some people believe that the attack was true. Some believe it was psyop. Some believe that it wasn't true. I'm not going to get into all that because I have my beliefs. And you can't believe certain things on TV. Anyway, but yeah. So, that what is going on here. All right. Okay. So, that's what I wanted to show. Now, also, is this show on CBS, it says it right there, the proof's in the pudding, okay? So, just like today, it was the cell phone, outage. It was one back then, and it was crazy. It was real crazy. See, he's talking about the World Trade Center. See, let me try to make that a little bit smaller. So you can go to here and go further in it. But I remember, talking to a lot of friends and family when this happened, because when that stuff happened, it happened up in New York, and it happened down in D.C., and it also happened around Fort Meade. Fort Meade. No, it wasn't Fort Meade. It was one of those other places that supposedly some stuff had happened with the so-called terrorist attack. But basically, the point what I'm trying to bring out in this video is that the cell phones went down. And when the cell phones went down, people could not communicate. And see, what people have to understand is just like how it happened today, that's how it's going to be in that time. I even was trying to reach out to a brother, and I ain't hearing nothing back from him. Not saying he didn't care, or he probably never even got my message, because everything was down. And I noticed that the Wi-Fi worked, but the data for the cell phones did not work. So that leads me to believe that this was some type of test that they were trying to do to see that can we have the, Wi-Fi running and cut the cell phones. And then some cell phones did work. One of my coworkers' cell phones worked, and my work cell phone worked, but I don't know the provider. But I'm gonna try to find that out. The provider of my work cell phone, because that one did work. But I have Verizon, and it did not work whatsoever. So this is to tell you that when this stuff hits the fan, you have to, be very, very cautious. Because a lot of people think the stuff that we bring out every day, that we talk about Trump is going to do this, and then hearing this today, Trump has a ban on visas. Yep, there you go. 75 countries. This is what Mr. Nero is doing. All right. Let's see if we could bring up these countries that he's talking about. Let's see. Trump administration to suspend immigration visas processing for 75 countries. So this is what Mr. Nero is doing. Okay? So this is showing you the power of this man. He's not playing. And this is a good news network to go to. And see, sometimes you cannot constantly keep listening to news from the United States. Sometimes you have to go outside countries to hear certain things. Because in the United States, they're always going to try to play some type of game with you. Now, this is CNN. All right, I agree. It says U.S. suspends immigrants' visas processing. Same crap. Okay, I'm trying to find where it's showing the actual countries. All right, okay. It says the pause processing applied to Brazil, Colombia, Egypt, Haiti, Somalia, Russia. The suspensions apply to all immigrant visas, such as those for employment. See, I didn't ask for this stupid ad. All right, what else? The pause does not apply to non-immigrant visas like students and tourists. Yeah, well, it's hard for you even to come in here as a tourist any day going way. All right, according to the U.S. official countries impacted, and these are the countries. Man, he got them out here. Afghanistan. Man, he got a lot of them. He even got Thailand, Togo, Jamaica, Cuba. I'm not reading them in order. I'm just seeing the countries that that sticks to my eyes that I'm familiar with. Dominica. But one thing I noticed with a lot of these countries that he is not allowed to come over. A lot of these are Israelites. If you look at it, the Bahamas, Dominican Republic, Haiti, Nigeria. I got family out there. St. Lucia, those Israelites too. Sierra Leone, Israelites. Thailand, you got Israelites there. Togo, you got Israelites there too. And I already know why he's saying Russia. He don't want no spies coming over here. So, you are clearly seeing what Mr. Nero is doing. Let me try to bring out some scriptures for this. If I can. Well, let's try to go into another topic. We're going off Holy Spirit tonight. I had to do work on my car. Had to deal with some brakes and deal with rotors for the brakes, changing oil. So that took up a lot of my time. So, please bear with me with what's going on. We're going to go on a little bit of Iran news. I might not be able to bring out a scripture, but all right, so yeah, I remember hearing Trump talking about how he gonna try to bum rush up in there,
In Iran is stopping, and it's stopped, and it's stopping. and there's no plan for executions or an execution or executions. So I've been told that a good authority. We'll find out about it. I'm sure if it happens, we'll all be very upset, including you will be very upset.
And moments ago, Iran closed its airspace without explanation, at least temporarily. Here to discuss this, Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton.
Now let me put.
How to aim better in World of Warships? A couple of practical hints. First of all,
Cotton, Senator.
Now I also want to bring this to light. Don't think for 1 second when you see all these riots and stuff going on in Iran that it ain't United States operatives over there causing these fires and these riots and stuff like that. It's just like the same thing that happened with George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery. You know, they was purposely trying to, you know, incite violence and people getting upset, you know. And then you got to look at how Nero is working. He's saying that he wants to go over there and help them, but this is the same man that bombed their country, that made people have to leave, that made people homeless. If those people are rioting, they're rioting because they're mad because their leader didn't bomb on the United States. And Russia's not having their back. That's why all this is happening. Because they're very, very upset. Imagine, you know, you living in your house and someone bombs that thing, and now you gotta roll out, you gotta leave, and you hoping that your government gonna do something, and they don't do a daggone thing. This just shows you the hypocrisy with all this stuff. But see, this heathen rages all the time. And since this heathen rages, he tries to puff himself up as he's doing the work. Oh yeah, I want to do something about. I'm gonna go over there because they mistreating their people. But you the same person
3 hours ago,
that made these people
we were
homeless.
hearing that America could be planning military strikes against Iran. However, the president came out and made those kind of cryptic comments about the killing stopping. Then Iran closes its airspace, and we're moving personnel out of our military bases in the region.
But they're about to bomb that joint. Come on, man. Use your
What I would
brain.
recommend is rather than closing its airspace, it stopped the violence against its own people. The massacre of innocent civilians now probably numbers in the thousands. President Trump has made it clear he's not going to tolerate this kind of wanton violence against the people who are simply yearning for freedom after 47 years of oppression by the Ayatollahs, which are also spreading revolutionary violence and terror around the world with the blood of hundreds of Americans on their hands. I think President Trump this afternoon was specifically referring to certain public executions that were scheduled that it appears at the time had not gone forward. We'll find out, as he said.
This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, this 3 through 10. Alright? And we're going to go into this man of sin. It really should be men's of sin, because they're all in a group all together. But, you know, it's the man of sin. You know. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. Now, I did a video on this, and it doesn't really get too many views, because, you know, that's just how it is. You know, they block people's videos. But as it goes on anyway, the man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. All right? These Edomites are out here living proud, feeling that nothing can bring them down. But certain people are going to see the man of sin. And most of those people that see the real man of sin is in GMS. Because we see everything that he does. We see that this man of sin is about to bring in this MOTB. And it ain't on cell phone, okay? And it ain't sin. So we truly see the man of sin, the man of perdition. Verse 4. Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. And who does that? That is Edom, the Edomites. They feel that nothing can bring them down, that they are high, and they let the technology from the left-hand side, and I'm glad that Tahar brought that out, because I've done tons of videos talking about technology, talking about how they got it from the left-hand side. It just makes me feel better, knowing that, people don't think that I'm going off. But anyway, so this man said he sit up in the temple. And sometimes you would even see these leaders, Trump, President Bush, some of them, they go into these churches and stuff like that. And even some of them go to these black churches and they sit up in these temples. But they puff themselves up when they go in there. They want all eyes to be on them. And also how they conduct themselves. They feel that they are like God. Verse 5. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things. Verse 6. And now ye know what withheld, that he might be revealed in his time. This is his time. 2025 to 2026 and a little bit before them. We have been telling you who is the man of sin, the man of perdition. We have been telling you, but it's hard for people to accept that. Who is the man of sin? People have a hard time to accepting things that they might not want to hear. Well, if you don't want to hear it, it's the truth. The Edomites are the man of sin. They are the men of sin. Because all they do is seek to kill and destroy and to steal. That is all they do. They have no homeland. They don't stay at home. They go on other people's lands, steal resources, persecute people. These are the men of sin. But see, now, the whole world is now starting to see the same things that we've been telling you. You even have his own woman going against him, revealing who he is and the things that he does. That's why we go out on these highways and hedges and make these videos to try to tell you who is the man of sin. But, once again, this is only for the elect. The elect will know this message and will not fight against this message. This is verse 7. For the mystery, all right? For the mystery of iniquity do already work. Only he who know. See? Only he who know. See, we know who that man is sin. This is for the mystery of iniquity. We know it. Who know lettereth will let until he be taken out of the way. And he is soon to be taken out of the way. Very soon. His time is up. Verse 8. And then shall that wicked be revealed. See? Once he's revealed, the whole earth is going to be a shadow of a doubt. They're going to say that, man, this is the man of sin. They're going to say these evil people are just evil. They're constantly doing stuff. It's going to be without a shadow of a doubt. that they gonna know who he is, and his descendants, they gonna know who they are too. Whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. You see that? So when Yahweh shall come, he is going to firmly get rid of this man. Because all the prophets and the saints and the teachers, and all, especially all the men at Great Millstone, GMS, we are tired of this, man. Absolutely tired. As you see, the brother in Carolina was saying, he's like, man, nah, we're not trying to do another 30, 40 years. He said, I'll be like 70 years old. Hey, look, I'm 45, man. I can't do another 30, man. Can't. Because this is too much. And all the elders and the elder apostles, they can't do it either. See, we've been screaming out to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai to get this man out. Because him and his cronies, his bloodline, this is all they do. This is all they do. I'm going to read verse 8 again. And then shall the wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with a brightness of his coming. Verse 9. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan. See? Showing you, see? It says the working of Satan. Now, see, most Christian people will say, he's talking about the devil. Yeah, he is talking about the devil. But the devil ain't, the devil is the Edomites. That's who the devil is. And it says the workings of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders. Satan ain't nothing but an angel, man. Nothing but an angel. On the left-hand side. Deceiving these Edomites. He's deceiving these Edomites to make them think that they're doing something so powerful. Verse 10. And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness and them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And see, that goes along with all those other brothers that saying that these Edomites can be saved. It says it right there. Because they receive not the love of the truth. They don't receive that love of the truth. The Israelites' bloodline receives that love of the truth. So we can be saved. That's why it says in Acts chapter 5:31, salvation and forgiveness of sin is to Israel. It didn't say to any other people. It didn't say to the Edomites. It didn't say to other families that are not Israelite. It didn't say that. So I hope that I know this lesson was kind of long, like 30 minutes long, but I hope that this lesson was edifying. I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone that teach this truth, that labor night and day. I want to give shalom to all the prophets and the teachers that labor in night and day, especially now in this last hours that we are out here on these highways and hedges. These last hours that we are using this internet, this unicorn. These last hours that we are enduring this nonsense that we have to go through every day, hoping for this kingdom to come, because this kingdom will come. So I want to thank all the brothers, and don't forget to pray for your fellow brother for endurance so they can endure until the end. With that being said, I hope this lesson was edifying. Shalom.